Hi, welcome to Late Night Legionnaires. I'm your host, Hunteronius Johnson. I'm here with the top Greek and Roman gladiator. And he's the only one I'd like to introduce as Lucas Nelsonius.
Thanks, Hunter. I'm glad to be here.
So, how did you become a gladiator?
Well, Hunter, it all started one day. I was reading the 12 tables of law and sitting in an aqueduct, drinking water cooling off, when the dictator Caesar and his legions grabbed me and dragged me to an arena. And I had no choice. Whatever he says goes.
That must have been horrible. What happened next?
I was tossed in a pit with people around me cheering, and this man came to attack me. He was in armor and I didn't know what to do. They tossed down weapons and we fought. I finally cast down my enemy, and from that time onwards, I became a gladiator.
Well, that's an impressive story. Are you planning on fighting again?
What do you think?
I think you will.
You're right. Let's check out some of my highlights.
Exciting to say the least. So many battles and so many wins. What do you intend to do with all the money?
Well, I will buy my freedom and go and live in an apartment building known as an insulae. And I have always wanted to be a Roman leader, such as a senate or counselor.
Well, thanks for joining us this evening. That's all, Rome, and have a good night.
You're good.
On this day there was a story. The story of Romulus and Remus. New evidence suggests that we might be in for a change of direction. Here's Hunter Johnson on the Tibernus River in the heart of the Roman capital.
There's a small village called Banana. At this point in the week today, scientists found a discovery that not only proved this story, but has a plot twist at the end. Scientists discovered scrolls. Scrolls, they told an amazing story. These scrolls were found in long tubes running almost 4 feet long. What is inside them is amazing. The newly discovered scrolls explain a new version of how Rome was started. This one explains that there was a man who stole children around. Later, however, there's 2 children. They were twins. He stole them. He brought them downstream into a village named Banana. He only stole them at a time. The children were believed to have been brought here by the man wanting power. Later on, they did get power. Brothers were named Romulus and Remus, being abandoned and brought downstream where they end up by 7 hills. They will grow and become jealous of one another and conquer, and the conqueror was eventually Remus, and he murdered his brother. The scrolls say that he named the city Rome because he felt guilty for his brother's death. But he pretended to be Romulus, and he said that Remus had died instead of Romulus. He lived out his life as Romulus, as his brother. He only told his closest advisor the story, and he is the one who wrote it down.
Thank you, Hunter, for that very, very interesting report. Exported out of the heart of the Roman capital, this family tradition brings the fruity oil right into your house. With 100% grown Roman olives, it's sure to leave an impact on you, your guests, and your family.
Every breaking wave on the shore,
Grown by our family to yours, enjoy this handcrafted signature oil.
and every gambler knows that to lose.
Romania Select olive oils hold a guaranteed freshness until date given. Romania olive oils are grown with care from our family to yours and are 100% olive oil based. If product does not fit your standards or is disturbed, full refund available.
Good evening, welcome to Late Night Legionnaires. I'm your host, Hunteronius Johnsonius.
And I'm your co-host, Shane Torgerson.
Our top story tonight is the end of the civil war between Marius and Sulla.
And this is how it started. The great Marius, general of Rome, defeater of Cambric, is now getting old and has stepped down from his social position.
And then his archrival Sulla has stepped up to seize power. He has become a consul and also was chosen to lead the army against the Mithridates.
But this is too much for Marius. The Popularis party wants him to lead the armies, and this creates a feud between the two parties and it erupts in open combat.
And Marius wins, but not all is won. Sulla returns to the city into the embrace of his army.
And he brought legions to the city, which was horrible violation of the principles of the government. But he was welcomed by the Senate, who said the election of Marius was illegal act.
With the legions at his back, Sulla declared that Marius and his followers were public enemies and condemned them to death. Marius then fled into exile, whilst Sulla went to fight the First Mithridatic War.
But what may surprise you is that when Sulla left the city of Marius and his followers attacked the city, taking it over, they killed many people of power and any person who opposed Marius or backed Sulla. Eventually, some of the people on Marius' side killed many of Marius' murderous followers who shed too much blood. Eventually, Marius himself died.
Sulla was returning after the war in Asia. He had many senators flee to his army, whilst Marius and his army slaughtered opponents in the city. They then realized that he intended to march upon Rome, and they raised an army of Salamites to fight him. In this decisive battle, Crassus, under the direction of Sulla of Rome, led the right side of the army to destroy the Samnites. They captured more than 6,000 enemies and slaughtered them all at the gates of Rome. They entered the city and murdered all opposers and enemies for 3 years until he was done. He then went to his country home.
He went on to write down his memories and recollections.
Thank you, Rome, and we can't wait to see you tomorrow.
I bet. On this. On this
Okay, now.
story, the story of tuberculosis.